We still hustle till the sun come up. Crack a 40 when the sun go down. It's a cold winter. Listen, it's going to be a cold winter for anybody facing the Philadelphia Eagles defense this year. My man Sean Desai coming in, putting his stamp on it, and I can see the bones and the infrastructure of something special starting to take shape there, right? Now, I'm going to have a couple of sections in this one right here, right? So in the A block here, I want to talk about Sean Desai's base alignment, what this scheme is rooted in. I had a couple of conversations with people in the previous video about Sidney Brown, and some of these cats just don't understand football or something like that, right? Because you can plainly see what this base defense is, right? And then I want to go through a few plays by some of the DBs, man. The DBs are absolutely loaded. I'm not talking about the Kings, right, Slay and Bradbury. I'm talking about the guys beyond that. These are some name brand cats. So check it out right here. Let's get it.
What more can I say?
Top Billin. All right, so I did the joint about 6 months ago on Sean Desai in my time spent all last year covering the Seattle Seahawks as a primary cover on this channel, and seeing him being brought in to implement a 3-4 base defense. Seattle Seahawks traditionally that 4-3 under defense. They morphed into a 3-4 outfit, and they brought in players based on that 3-4 and continued that this draft, where they're now fully a 3-4 team with the entire season in the books there. Same deal here. You can see last year with Coach Gannon that they were running a ton of 3-4, and now you will see that as the root, right? The root of the style of defense. So you went out and got players over the last two drafts that fit that. You literally went out and got guys from the best 3-4 defense in the country in Georgia's defense, right? Well, Jordan Davis, the past draft, the Kobe Dean, then Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. All these guys are 3-4 personnel cats. And you get a Hassan Reddick that same year as well, who is best off in a 3-4. Now, someone like Josh Sweat, probably your prototypical 4-3 cat. However, Josh Sweat, a fantastic athlete in his own right, one of the best athletes that nobody talks about. The guy's a complete freak. You have a ton of interior defensive linemen to run a base 34, right? You see it right here. This was a 2nd and 1. Obviously, you get 12 personnel here, so there's only 2 wide receivers on the field. You're going to jump into your base set. You get a shade here, a 2-eye, a 3 technique, and 2 guys in motorcycle stances pressed out to the 9s. And we can see here, you get that layer down with the 2, right? You layer it down there. I'm going to tell you the truth right here. I don't like Greedy Williams. Right? He's one of the. I will talk about that on the next section right there. So I'm gonna leave that alone for now. But as you can see here, when you really want to stop the run, you can layer it down with that 3-4 defense. You just got more bodies dedicated on the line of scrimmage to really layer something down there, right? So me personally, I'm a 4-3 cat, right? I like 4-3. However, I understand that these days you're only going to work with a couple of off-ball linebackers anyway. So if you see right here, right, another one, what is this? I don't know the down the distance, obviously, but you can see once again, they're in 12 personnel. Only a couple of wide receivers on the field. What do they go to? Right? You get those 3 down linemen, 2 guys pressed out to the 9s, right? You play them in more space. In a 4-3, you get a cat like Nolan Smith who's like 6'2", 190 pounds, right? And you try to play him with a tight to the tackle alignment, meaning a 4-3 where he's playing more of a 6 technique. He's probably not going to do that well. In a 3-4, you play him in a ton of space and you allow him to use his athleticism to hold the D gap or to play in reverse or to work the flat as a linebacker. So when you're in your meeting room, there's the difference, right? People talking about being multiple. Everyone's multiple these days. Nobody's sitting in a 4-3 100% of the time like 1997 or even 2007, right? These days, nickel's in vogue. So even in that 3-4 defense, we'll go ahead and move it right here. You can run with a 4-man front. So you see they remove the shade right here pretty much, right? I want to say might be Marlon right here running kind of at a 2-eye. But as you can see right here, you still got your outside linebackers in outside linebacker stance, right? In a 2-point stance, you bring in like a Zach McPherson or whomever at the nickel spot right there, and you're plussed, right? You're good right there. Or you can opt to put everyone in an even front alignment. As you see here, all hands in dirt. 4 down linemen, right? And they have 3 receivers here. This is Zay Flowers right here. He's in motion. So there's 1, 2, 3 receivers there. So you're running with that 11 personnel, and they counter, right? With a nickel defense with 4 guys down, 2 off-ball linebackers, and then you bring in your nickel back right here, Zach McPherson or whomever, right? Mario Goodrich. So there you have it. That's being multiple in your approach. I don't know. These people were talking about being a 4-3 team and then being a 3-4 team. Like, you don't need multiple base alignments because you're most of the time now you're going to be in nickel and dime sets. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in nickel and dime sets, you have to vary your approach anyway. That just simplifies things. You're going to be in your meeting room with your people. You're not going to be, because there's an N, right? There's an N in a 3-4 and there's an N in a 4-3. 2 completely different positions though. Right? So you wouldn't have Fletcher Cox as a 5 technique in a 3-4 be with an N in a 4-3. Fletcher Cox is not in a meeting room with Josh Sweat. They're not probably running through the same drills or anything like that. So you got to keep that in mind right there. They are very multiple and varied in their approach, and it's going to be able, right? You're going to be able to roll with those 4 down linemen or have 2 guys in the motorcycle stance, right, out of a 4-man front. Or you be in your base 34, or you can be in a 4 down lineman nickel set, right? There's a whole bunch of different shit you do to vary your approach, right? All right, if you're new to the channel, you have to make sure you subscribe, but you also have to know that my analysis, right, is rooted in covering college football, college and high school football, the past 10 seasons, right? So the past 10 years I've been doing that. So a lot of these guys I've covered in high school, working their way all the way up through college. And one of the guys that I first did a video on here for the Eagles was Eli Ricks. I could not believe Eli Ricks went undrafted. Eli Ricks is a first-round talent. If you had to tell me who would be the most talented cornerback out of all these guys, right, not named Bradbury and Slay, it would be Eli Ricks, even over Josh Jobe, over Kelee Ringo, all these cats. Eli Ricks is the deal. So I don't know what went on with Alabama. That was a weird situation there. But at LSU, especially as a freshman, oh my God, he looked like a top 10 pick. To me, he's still that same dude. Check this joint out right here. Now, I'm so mad as hell we didn't get a replay on this one, right? But you can see, we'll run it first, right? You can see, right? Look at the pedal coming about that break, and then, oh my God. Look at him drive on the ball right there, man. Damn, I wish we had a better angle of this, because this is some good work. First of all, getting depth, right? Off-man coverage here. Off-man coverage, right? Well, it's looks like it's more of a zone. You can see him with eyes on the quarterback as well, which is dangerous if you're somebody like Anthony Brown throwing a curl route or whatever this is meant to be right here. I can't tell until they come up out the break right there. But he's squatting on that with great foot energy and peering at the quarterback. You throw this joint right here, yeah, it look like it could have been a curl. Or I don't know what the hell that is right there, but he ran that route for that receiver, in my opinion, and jumps that bad boy. Oh, that is absolutely nasty. Eli Ricks can run. He has the size. He has the agility. A lot of things that a lot of these other guys don't necessarily have as a complete package. Pause. All right, here we go again. Off-man coverage. Oh, Anthony Brown couldn't have been serious doing that right there. What are we doing? Let's look at it from this direction right here. Look at that. Low in his pedal. Oh, I love that. Low in his pedal. Get even lower coming up out of that for a cat 6'1", 6'2", or whatever he is right there. That's some great dexterity right there. Chicks at Club Onyx ain't getting that low. Let's get it. Look at that, man. Oh, look at the choppy steps allow him to come up out that break. And my man telegraphed the hell out of this out route. Right in. He rounded it off. No Sirree Bob. Look at that. Come on, man. Had a little LOL at the end as well. You got Anthony Brown. He eyed down Anthony Brown the entire way. Anthony Brown's like, look, if I don't look, it didn't happen. He's like, I'm gonna go ahead and head it home right now. Anthony Brown, he ran all the way to Light Street. All the way to Light Street in downtown Baltimore. He was like, fuck it. Come on, man. All right, not to bag on Kelee Ringo, but it was times covering him at Georgia, which I did all 3 of his years and some of his last bit of high school, right? Going into that camp season where I got a chance to see him work out in camps and stuff like that. Sometimes his tackling can be a little shoddy. What's this? That's only one of the reasons what keeps me when we're thinking about safety is that he's very inconsistent in his tackling. And it's something I've pointed out plenty of times. So don't come here with that Ringo sexual shit from back in the day right there, because I'm just covering football here, right? But was this a tackle? I don't understand what he's trying to do right here. And thank God your boy Justin Evans on the cleanup, right? All EMT team that time right there, man. Woo, shit. All right, here we go. One-on-one with Dev Duve here, my man Devin Duvernay. And he's not competitive with this particular route. Check this out. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've seen that too many times at the University of Georgia on shorter routes with transitions. Sometimes he's just not that competitive. Look at that. No foot energy here. I would be chopping my feet or something. I'm ready for it. He's absorbing his energy right here, right? It's going to be a transfer of energy right here once he sticks that foot in the ground, because Dev Duve's already in motion and you're flat-footed. And as fast as he is, he's not the quickest right out of the gate. He has long speed. His short area quickness, 0 to 60 type, is not going to mess with somebody like a Dev Duvernay who's just a quicker person. And look at that, man. He gets that late pandemic separation on a damn back shoulder fade. And I know these routes are tough to cover. There's no doubt about that. If you've ever covered them, they are tough to cover. But you can do yourself more of a service by having that foot energy and trying to decrease the space, or having a plan. Is this inside leverage? Or if you're playing with inside leverage, I would much rather kind of play with outside leverage and see if I can work back to the inside there. But maybe that's the call right there. You guard off the inside and make sure everything's going outside, but he's a little bit late on the tick right there, and that's just easy. That's stealing right there. Then he still pushes him after the fact. All right, come on. He had a good moment right here, though. All right, let me run through this real quick. This video's getting a little longer than I wanted it to be. Ringo Hill up at the top. My man Fletcher Cox on the microphone right there. And, they didn't get a replay on this one right here, but this is short down the distance. It's 3rd and 5, so a cat like Kelee Ringo was on his FBI game, knowing that they're probably more than likely going to run the quick game and move the sticks, so he could squat on this particular route and then drive on it, because it'll just be probably beyond the sticks there. And he does that and gets himself a PBU. That was a hell of a rep, no doubt about that. On this one right here, this shows a lot of the stuff that I've seen from Kelee Ringo. This is straight up man coverage right here. And Tylan Wallace would have dug in them buns on this one right here on the back shoulder if the quarterback was a little bit better right here. Ringo has a tough time locating the ball right there, and you can see the separation. Wallace would have easily had that on a back shoulder while Kelee Ringo's still upfield right there. So there you have it, man. A lot of talent from the DB position there. I was looking at it, I'm like, man, I covered all these kids in college and stuff, because these guys are from the SEC, or a lot of them are, and they're pretty big name prospects, like Ringo and Ricks, Goodrich from Clemson, Mekhi Garner from LSU, Greedy Williams, who I'm not a fan of, from LSU, of course. Then you've got Avonte Maddox and these guys who would be the actual starters. And beyond that, Josiah Scott. So it's a lot of guys there, man. That's very dope. It's going to be real tough for them on the cuts. We'll see how it happens. But you let me know. We have more football to be played in the preseason as well. So a guy like Ringo could come back and have a phenomenal game. Any of these guys who you think didn't do that well can come back and have phenomenal games, and then your opinion will be swayed there. So I always like a little bit larger of a sample size. So we shall see that. All right, but it's your boy Jersey Murph, a.k.a. Mid-Atlantic Murph, a.k.a. the Underground King. Shout-outs to everybody out in South Jersey, baby. We doing it big. Vineland, Bridgeton, Millville, Atlantic City, Camden, Cherry Hill. Shout outs to the entire Philadelphia, South Philly, all my folks out North Philly as well, West Philly. And shout out to the entire Delaware and Elkton, Maryland. All right? Christiana, Delaware, stand up, baby. We in there. Let's go.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.